to T Boys TV. Obviously, we are back again. Obviously, episode 103. Could potentially, hopefully not, but could potentially be the last time we're reacting to a game this season, and obviously previewing one. And yeah, obviously it's a reaction and a preview. Obviously, I've done that obviously last season with the playoffs. We'll be doing it again, of course. So it's going to be a bit of a weird one, but it is what it is in that sense. But yeah, like always, joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Hope good.
Yeah, which obviously we'll get into. But obviously we'll start off with obviously the game. Big up to everyone that tuned in, by the way. I think it got like 700 views after the live stream on the watch along. So big up. I know a few new subscribers in it. Obviously, we took on Sunderland, obviously, in the first leg. Obviously, the first leg at their ground. Lineup was pretty much what I expected. It was just the midfield. You know, I didn't know it could be a lot of different things. But other than that is what I said, which is obviously Ethan in goal, Bell, Lockyer and Osho at the back, Doherty and Drame as the wing-backs. Obviously, Doherty on the left, Drame on the right. Midfield was Ruddock, Nakamba and Clark. And then Adebayo and Morris. As for your bench, it was Berry, Burke, Campbell, Freeman, Fred, Potts, and Shea. Now, looking at that lineup, like I said, it was what I expected. Just, you know, the midfield, I didn't really know what it was going to be. I thought maybe Campbell would start, to be honest. And then obviously the bench. The only thing that worried me on the bench, in a sense, was you know, no striker. Obviously, we had players that could play up front on the bench, like. And obviously, you've seen Freeman do it recently. Berry can do as well, but it's not quite the same. Surprised Taylor weren't on the bench myself. But other than that, like I said, expected for me. I would have probably went with Campbell. I think it would have been better suited him for him away. And then probably in for Clark potentially. But other than that, it's, you know, what I would have went with. Your thoughts on that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, exactly the same. What we was talking about it before. We thought that Campbell. And I thought that was what Rob Edwards was alluding to before, you know, when he said, it's going to be a different kind of midfield setup. That, you know, I thought it meant that because they've got, you know, they'll play through you if you're not on your game, basically. And we weren't, and that's what happened. But, you know, he said why he played Clark. You know, he's come out and said why he started Clark and Osho. Osho done well anyway, but Clark wasn't great. And, you know, he said, he's fantastic on the ball. Yeah, we know all that, but in this, he wasn't. In this game, he wasn't. So, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He wasn't great, I have to be honest. You know, it was one of them. I definitely agree. Let's go through some comments. Spencer says, hey, Chris, late T-Boy TV as usual. We're live now. Apologies, was a few minutes late, sorry. It's been a bit of a hectic day for me. So, yeah. Big up to Stephen. Big up Ty. Spencer says, hey, as well. Big up yourself, mate. Unfortunately not, mate. Unfortunately not. I'll be doing another watch-along. But, yeah, we'll get into the game later. Stephen saying, big up to you as well. So, yeah, big up Alex in the chat as well. Says, yes, Tyler, shocking results Saturday. Froze after their goal. All to play for tomorrow. Nervous, though. Yeah, no, absolutely. And then David says, big up to us as well. So, big up to yourself, mate. But, yeah, going into the first half, so obviously we actually started off really well. I'd say first 20 minutes, we were really good. They had the first big chance. Obviously, Ethan pulled similar. In a way, it was a similar save. Obviously, I know it's a free kick Hull had, but it's a similar save to what Shea had to do in the last game, where he obviously, you know, parried it away in that sense and got it out of the danger zone. That was the first big chance. But then after that, I'd say we were on them. You know, we obviously went to corners. Obviously, we got the goal. Elijah, good to see him score. That's now his 8th goal of the season. And, you know, a bit of a scrappy goal, but we don't care. You know, we'll take it. And obviously, you know, it was always going to go in at some point. You know, I think it was potentially a handball anyway, if Doherty's goal didn't, you know, or shot, sorry, didn't go in. And then Elijah was just there, you know, and made it 1-0. And I was loving it. As you saw on the watch along. You know, scrappy goal, but we'll take it, eh,
Yeah, regarding the shot that they had, like, yeah, it was a good save. But luckily for us, none of the danger men got to it because they were quite close to it as well. So, some commentators were putting, he's put it straight into the. But no, he's first and foremost looking to save it, and then at last millisecond, you're thinking where you're going to put it. Do you know what I mean? Like, wait, but initial reaction was a good save, yeah, and then corner, which we needed a lot more of them, and they just couldn't deal with it. As simple as that. And yeah, he couldn't miss from there really. But he's missed a couple of sitters this season. So, but yeah, no, it was good. And Doughty was unlucky. I think I can't remember if it hit the post or the keeper saved it. I think the keeper might have saved it.
Yeah, it was weird. It was blocked.
Keep it all alive, and that's the thing. The corners flicked into Morris. We do that quite a lot, and it generally works and does well for us, and we get a goal out of it. And we need to see more of that, especially tomorrow. There wasn't enough of that, absolutely none of it at all. But yeah, good finish. I wouldn't say we was fully in control, but we deserved it. Probably, we're always capable of that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think 20 minutes, most of it, we look good. The first 20 minutes, I'd say after that, it wasn't so great. Obviously, it did equalise. Of course, it's Diallo as well. Was actually a really good goal, to be fair. Ethan had no chance of saving it. Bit of an annoying free kick to give away by Ruddock. Let's be honest now. It's one of them. It was definitely a foul. And obviously, he got a card for it. Rightly so, I would say. Just the way he's, went in. And yeah, it was a good goal. But annoying to give away, wasn't it, though?
Yeah, it's frustrating. And the thing is, before that, he was playing a couple of bad parties. He looked nervous. Like, he looked nervous. Like, maybe, I don't know. I think the thing is with that is, if you think about it, out of them, all them, we've got a terrible playoff record, yeah, in general. And Ruddock's probably been a part of some of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, more than other players. And so he's probably going to be a bit more nervous than that. So, yeah, it wasn't a good performance. It was a silly free kick to give away, but it was a great finish. There's questions about the wall and such, but at the end of the day, the player's still got to score the goal, and you know what I mean? And it's what it is. Ethan weren't too far away from it. And I think that stunned us because what, a lot of these sides that compete in right up there, they always get these top quality loans early on in the season. Do you know what I mean? Burnley had it, Teller, Middlesbrough have got it, Archer, Sunderland have got it. Plenty of team, and we ours are defensive, and we don't tend to do loans. I don't know if that is more of a Nathan Jones thing or is that more of a club thing. Probably a little bit of both, but the two loans that we discussed before, they've been brilliant. Apart from this game as well, and that's what you're dealing with, and that's kind of reaction we sort of took, how can you compete with that? What is he? At least a £30 million player or something. And sometimes you can't do anything about that. Obviously, not give a free kick away, but that's that naivety, isn't it? So yeah, I think that should. And then we started getting tetchy. We were sort of going in for them because they were play acting and that. It's difficult. I think we should have maybe just backed off a little bit, make them look that more, stupid when they go down, rather than, we weren't helping matters by diving in a little bit ourselves. And the camper was lucky not to be sent off. And it's frustrating because I was discussing with my friend at work about it, and he said, he looks like, when he was at Villa, he was a card waiting to happen. I said, he ain't been like that for us.
No.
And then he goes and does exactly that. Yeah, poorest game. Definitely, even like the games he started. Do you remember, like when we first signed him, This was worse than that.
Yeah.
Just,
No, one other game I can think of where he weren't as great was Preston, which is that one I mentioned. Nearly cost us the game, but that was more so for me. That was more so just getting used to the Championship. Obviously, we know he's got the quality, but just how more physical it is. The further down you go in the leagues, and you can't sit around and do that. On the ball like how he was in that game. Because it nearly cost us, as we see. So, yeah, no, I'd agree. This one was worse. For sure. But let's go through some more comments. Big up to Hanno. He says, yes, mate, big up yourself. No, absolutely. We will. I was going to mention that in the player ratings when I talk about him.
But we ain't even discussed the elbow.
There was another chance that I was going to get into. If it's the same one you're on about, to make it 2-0.
In the second minute. The elbow on Lockyer.
Yes. No. Yeah. True. There's VAR. I reckon that's a different story.
I think it would have been. Yeah. I mean, that's the problem. If someone does see that, even if a linesman did see it, he's thinking, that can't happen. Like, you can't get someone sent off in the first 2 minutes of the playoff semi-final at their own ground and all. Yeah, you can. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure if it is the other way around, some of the fans will be going on about it, whether or not they've won or not. So yeah, that was he went down, and he doesn't go down. It's not that easily, does he? So, and you could see it on the replay that it was.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, that, and they done it a couple of times. They were trying to rough up certain players. Morris, Elijah. So it was quite a dirty game. I kind of half expected that, but we knew that they would die rolling around. And, obviously at one point he got booked for diving, didn't he? So
yeah. I was going to get into that. Yeah, I was going to get into that. Other comments. Yeah, I'd agree with it. I said first 20. I know a few other Luton fans said first 30. Obviously, it did score in the 39th minute. I'd say it's first 20. And it, like I said, they had the first big chance, but after that, I felt, we were dominating in the sense where we were getting corners, we were putting pressure on them. I don't know. I don't really know what happened. I think that free kick just not changed the game, but obviously it didn't help because obviously then they got the goal and it gave them momentum, didn't it? Because of the crowd and it's just one of them, isn't it? Really, two midfielders on yellows as well. That didn't really help, in my opinion. So, yeah. Jackie says, "Evening. Horvath could have placed himself a bit better. His bad clearance put us on the pressure."
It was the beginning of the pattern of play, but it's you're going to look at that anyway. That's what they'll do in the club anyway. But we still could have dealt with it better after that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
another thing people are saying, Spence obviously watched the game along. Long.
I
was saying that, and you lot were agreeing with me at the time. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's that. We'll get into the second half. So obviously in the second half, I thought I was saying on the watch long, I feel we need half time. Obviously, most of you would agree with that, just with the sense of pressure they were putting on us. And I thought it'd benefit us. You've seen in games, especially recently, Blackpool, for example, again, I know it's a completely different team, but, obviously we were, what was the score in that one? 1-1, wasn't it, at half time? That helped us. Middlesbrough, that helped us in the second half. Obviously, we got a, fairly early goal. So I was thinking, in that sense, that would be decent, it'd be decent half time, make a few changes. I wanted to see one of the midfielders come off at least regarding Ruddock or Nakamba, because obviously a yellow carded and going to try and be targeted in that sense as well, I felt. To try and get another card. And like we said, Nakamba lucky not to get sent off. So, I'd have liked to see Campbell come on. I was saying that on the watch long, from the 55th to 60th minute, anywhere sort of there. I feel, like I said, I would have started him because I feel it's, better suited to him away from home as well in this game. Obviously, he did start in the league as well. Obviously that might be because Ruddock was injured, but still, I just feel it'd have been better suited for him. But yeah, obviously I did get the goal to make it 2-1. They were piling up pressure. They come out similar to how they were after that 20-minute spell, in my opinion, in the first half. They were just dominant in that sense. And obviously I got a goal. Again, good goal. Could have dealt with the cross a bit better, I feel. Could have marked a bit better. Good header. But frustrating goal to concede. Your thoughts on the goal, Dad?
Yeah, could have definitely have marked it better, but was a very good delivery. Jack Clark,
Yeah,
good
big
player.
Yeah,
and it's bullet header. So but it was quite what was it? An hour into the game. Sorry.
Yeah.
To be honest, we're lucky we didn't concede more.
Honestly, I agree.
We just seemed to our plan was just ruined, and then they just couldn't seem to pick themselves up. And this is what's quite surprising, because I've said it before, like it's very rare that half of the players are playing poor. You might get one or two, and even that's, do you know what I mean? But it was frustrating.
Yeah, no, it absolutely was.
They did, they probably played better than we expected them. I know they was going, we expected this, and we knew the atmosphere and that, but it's not just about the atmosphere; it's about what they're doing on the pitch as well. And you can, because we've dealt with quality players, and our defence has been good generally this season. We probably, especially once we went 1-0 up, but again, Ruddock was definitely nervous, in my opinion. I know for a couple of players, a player like he, it'll rub off on the rest of the team. You know what I mean? He's Mr. Luton Town. Like, he can't be playing like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And it's annoying when it comes to subs in this game. So like I said, I felt we should have done the subs earlier, especially in midfield, especially like I said with Campbell and not Campbell, with Ruddock and McCamber being on cards. I just felt it was needed. Like I say, Ruddock looked nervous. I agree. And that would, in that sense as well, to change it up. Like I said, Campbell played in the away game. See, like I said, I know Ruddock was injured, but still, I just feel it's better suited away from home. You know what Campbell's like. Doesn't give you time, doesn't give you space. So,
and that's the thing. That's what their midfielders were doing.
Mm.
And that's what we normally do. So he has to. For me, you need that. You miss that. He needs to be starting tomorrow.
I agree. 100% agree.
Still start Clark. Like, put Ruddock on the bench. So Clark, he's got a big players, mate. Show that. You've got to show it. How much do you want it as well? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And it was just annoying because the first sub we did, obviously, I like Fred. Obviously, I know you do as well. I just don't feel it's the right sub to make. I don't know about you. I just don't know. 18 minutes left. Right wing back. Obviously, we know he can play decent there, but it's not his main position.
I think Drame wasn't great either.
No one was.
But their wing play, we just couldn't handle it. But that's because they were pushing, they were defending when normally, and then they're not, they don't have to do that much. They're used to bombing forward, isn't it? Drain made Doughty. So just didn't seem to be able to cope with it, and it's just one of them things, really. Like, it's not even that bad. I said to you privately that I would have took a 1-0 to them.
I think you even said it on here, to be fair.
But yeah,
obviously it's not ideal, but
I don't know what. Like, it is disappointing, but I think it's because we know we can play much, much better, and that's the more disappointing thing. If we'd have played out of not out of our skin, but really well, and then still lost, I think that'd be worse because we're thinking, hold up. They're matching us. but we know how poor some of them players were, and they all have to raise their game. It's the game, life-changing game for them.
Yeah.
So if the crowd are on point, then you've got to do it. Then show us what you can do. And I believe they are capable. But what it's interesting what Rob Edwards has come out and says, he just believes them in 100% that they'll do it.
Yeah.
So that is, obviously you've got to be confident in that, but it's still a big statement. So yeah, you just need them players to step up.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And
I agree.
Like you have been all season. You've got third for a reason, to get that home tie that in the second leg, which is your reward. Now make the most of that reward. That's what I'm saying.
All or nothing, mate. Literally. Yeah. And the funny thing is, I've called that the title. I'm pretty sure Sunderland didn't have a documentary called All or Nothing, and I weren't even thinking of that. I just generally, it is literally all or nothing. I was literally going to put all or nothing or do or die. Do you know what I mean? It's literally one of them, isn't it? As we know. But yeah, obviously, I made some other changes. Obviously, bringing on Berry for Clark. Again, I felt it was a little bit later on. And obviously, Burt come on. Obviously, Doherty had a little nibble, but Rob Edwards has come out and said he'll be all right for tomorrow. So that's obviously good to hear. Obviously, Morris had a little bit of a moment as well, but again, he'll be all right. Rob Edwards, the press conference thing literally come out not too long before this, so I managed to watch it and see what he had to say. So they'll both be all right, which is obviously good. So that's all I'm going to say on the 90 minutes. I'm going to save it more for the player ratings. Anything else you want to say, Dad, before we get into the player ratings?
No, it's hard. I think it's hard to take because, again, we don't lose very often. So yeah, I think it was just doubled this time. Do you know what I mean?
First loss in 14 games.
Yeah. So I think that was it as well. We knew the shit tactics that they were, cheating basically, or trying to win free kicks, trying to win penalties, and
Diallo did literally a very similar thing to the league.
Same stuff. Them, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you got to do that sometimes, and maybe say we was a bit naive in that respect as well, possibly, because Mowbray knows, and there was hints of it that they were going to play a bit dirty or dark tactics and stuff. So, and no doubt they'll try that again, but we've got to let our ability show through, and our experience as well.
Yeah, no, 100%, definitely agree.
I said to someone else, I said, part of me feels like I'm doing the right. They won't. I reckon that for what they've got, what they're available to start, they're playing at 90%. We were playing at 40%.
Yeah, no, it was awful. It was awful, especially in just never seen us give away the ball so much.
Some of them Sunderland players, they were dead on their feet at the end of that game as well. Do you know what I mean? So they've got to do another push. Even if we're at 60%, they're going to find it tough. So we just need to go through them gears.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely agree with that. But yeah, moving on. Actually, I'll read this comment by Stephen. It says we were good for 30 minutes, but it was even a bloody corner. Yeah, like I said, for me it was 20. A few other Luton fans said 30. But yeah, either way, after 30 minutes, it weren't so great. So it's just one of them. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings. Obviously, for the Sunderland game. Ethan in goal. Like obviously Jackie said earlier, obviously he had that moment, didn't he? Where it weren't so great. The goals, I wouldn't have said he could have done anything. Let's be especially that first one. Second one, I think we should have defended, marked better, to be honest. But yeah, not great from him. Not great from him. I'm going to go with a... I don't even know what I'm going to go. I'm going to go with 6, I think.
I'll give him a 6.5. He still made that save. I can't really be you know, the free kick, yeah, he could have stepped a bit earlier, but still, come on, look at the quality of that, you know.
Yeah, it was a great goal. Like, there's no, you know.
You know, even if he'd got his hand to it, he still might have tipped it in. So it wasn't like he was just standing there. And the second one, yeah, it was just standing there, but the header was in before he could do anything, before he could even react. So, but yeah, not the best. We have seen better from him. But other than that, they didn't really offer us too much. So
No.
it's a bit frustrating, the key moments of that affected the game like that, you know. So yeah, 6.5, I'll give.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Moving on to the back three, we'll start off with Bell. I would probably say out of the bunch, Bell was probably the best player. By the way, I'm not going to give a man of the match this game. I don't usually give man of the matches when we lose. No, I just don't. But yeah, I'll probably say Bell was probably one of the best players for us. And he weren't like overly great like we usually see him, but I just felt he was all right at times, you know, going forward and that, you know, like we know he's good at. Just for that reason, I'm going to go with nothing too high. I'm going to go with a 7.
I'll give him a 7. Just yeah, he looked more composed out of a lot of other players, and like he wasn't that nervous. You know, and that's a good thing going into the next game. But yeah, you can if everyone around you is not pulling their weight or playing like they should be, sorry, then it's more difficult for you to play your game perfectly, isn't it? So, but 7.
Yeah. Stephen says Bell was man of the match by a mile if he was to give one. Yeah, like I said, he looked the better one out of everyone. So yeah, no, I would agree. Obviously, if I did give one, Lockyer, see, you know, obviously had that moment where he got, you know, obviously got it in the face. Obviously, we know he's Warrior and continue. Obviously, it's not as bad as what we've seen before, where obviously his eye was proper mashed up. But you know, obviously we had that little bit of a worry where we thought he'd maybe, you know, come off. Obviously, come back on. Well, yeah, come back on. Not the greatest I've seen from him though. You know, I'm going to be honest. Obviously, I'll say how it is. I'm going to go with a. Yeah, it weren't great from him. I'm going to go with a. I think I'm going to go with 6.
I'll give him 6.5. You know, he did get clattered. He was getting, you know, punched about and kicked about and all sorts. Do you know what I mean? But at times he was still there with some important headers. Some of his forward passing weren't great, but you know. But again, it's the whole thing. Like, you know, if more players are not playing as well as you expect, it does make it difficult for you because it ruins the pattern of your games, isn't it? That's basically what happened. With no pattern.
No, yeah, exactly.
6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Alex gone quite low. He's gone with 4. So he was there. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them. Moving on to who are we on to? Osho, last centre back. Yeah, he wasn't great. You know, he was not great. Let's be honest. Seen better again. It's going to be like that for all these players, pretty much. Me saying I've seen better because it's true. You know, we all know that. Again, I'm going to go with another. I'll go with another 6.
I think he was slightly better now. I'm going to give him 6.5. You know, again, he's not on combat, but generally he was quite composed. Yeah, for a couple, maybe the corner, the header goal, maybe he could have been a bit more, you know. But come on, again. Other than that, his forward passing was good. I still prefer to see him there over Bradley. It'd be interesting to see if he keeps his pace. But I don't think he was that bad. He's always looking to go forward. He was, you know, he normally makes up for things like that as well. So I feel like, you know, he's going to be important.
I was going to say that, yeah.
6.5, and that's been a bit harsh.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. And I suppose he did, you know, obviously there's a lot of players, you know, in our scrappy gold that we'll take.
Plus, he was involved in getting
part of that, weren't he? So,
yeah.
So there you go with that. Moving on to, we'll go over to Doherty. Obviously, unlucky not to score. Let's be honest. Other than that, obviously had that little knock at the end. Obviously, like I said, he's all right for the game tomorrow, which is obviously good. Again, I expect a reaction from him tomorrow, and I think we'll see one. But yeah, as for a rating, I'll go 6.5.
I'm going to go over 6. Quite poor from him. Obviously, he ended up getting sucked into defending that as well, but still, I thought he'd be the one player that had caused them a hell of a lot of problems, and he just didn't. He just didn't do it, and I expect that to change tomorrow because we know what he's capable of. But yeah, 6.
Fair enough. Alex with Farewell Bradley, the tier. Yeah, it will be one of them. Obviously, going forward, I think even he knows he's not quite there. But obviously, everything's done for Luton. It's going to be emotional when it obviously officially happens. I agree on that one. Obviously, I've got his shirt as well, as you know. So yeah, big up to him. Doherty 7. Fair enough. So yeah, moving on to Drame. It was obviously on the right. Like my dad said earlier, not great from him from what we've seen. And for that reason, I'm just going to go straight up with a 6.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6. Don't forget, there was a couple of times where he looked like he was going to do well against the guy, but then he just kept getting done, and it stopped him coming forward again as well. We just weren't underestimating him. Was a bit nervous. We should just look. Come on, we've got good footballers here, and that's what we need to be doing tomorrow. But yeah, we didn't do that. 6.
Yeah, Alex gone with a 6 as well. So there you go. And then moving on to the midfield, we'll start off with Ruddock. Like I said, like you said, obviously he did look nervous. Obviously, he gave away that free kick for the first goal, which obviously didn't help because obviously he scored. Bit of an annoying one to give away. Yeah, it wasn't great from Ruddock. Let's be honest. I'm actually, people might say it might sound really harsh, but it's the lowest rating so far that I'm going to give. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go over 5.5.
Yeah, I agree. It weren't, like I say, he looked out of sorts. This is, just when you don't need that, because that sometimes he can do that, although it's relatively rare for a big game like this. No, because that just shows that maybe that extra step up, you're not ready for it. But I'm happy to be proven wrong, Pelly. So, but yeah, 5.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Alex gone with 6.5. Fair enough, mate. Moving on to Nakamba. For me, I'm saying it how it is. Obviously, he's been brilliant for us other than that Preston game and obviously this game. He's been very consistent other than that. This game, obviously, not great. Like we said, he should have, been sent off. Lucky not to be. Yeah, wasn't great from him. At all. Again, I'm going to have another 5.5.
I'm going to give him a 5. I thought it was terrible. I thought, he was lucky. It was lucky because he wouldn't have been playing the next game, I think. So,
yeah,
and we have kind of relied on him, but got used to him playing in front of the defence kind of thing. And when he starts playing like that, it makes everyone else panic as well. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, he should have known better. Don't know what was going on. I think he was trying to make up for everyone else, or something. I can't work it out. But please do not play like that again. 5.
Yeah, no, honestly, this could be obviously, I don't want to be negative, but it could be one of his last games, his last 2 games. So don't want it to end like that. You know what I mean? So absolutely agree. Alex has gone the Canberra worst on the pitch. Hard to rate him high. 2.5 should have been off. Yeah, he should have been off, mate. Like I said, very lucky not to be. And then moving on to the midfielder ahead, Clark. Not great from Clark. See, like the guy, we all do, but not a great game from him. And, maybe going into it, maybe away from home, this is a game that didn't suit him. Maybe at home might suit him better. We'll see. So See, I'll get into lineups later, what I would go with. Yeah, I just don't think this game suited him, to be honest. And I think he was seeing it in this one. Again, not great from Clark. So I'm going to go with another 5.5.
Yeah, I'll give him 5.5. You know, again, he was overrun by their midfielders. He had that good pass to Elijah. When that would have been 2-0.
Yeah, that was a good moment, yeah.
Defender hadn't blocked him. But he was anonymous. And again, for me, he's a key player. You can't be playing, like, if you're trying, then fair enough. Whatever. You're doing bits. Doing nothing. And then another one to get a yellow card. 5.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Alex has gone with a 5 for Clark. Fair enough, mate. And then moving on to the two up front. We'll start off with Morris. Again, not a great game from Morris. Again, it's similar to Nakamba in a sense, I'd say, where you rarely see it, though. Just weren't really... He was doing his flick-ons and that, but, no one was there at times, which is not all down to him, that's what I will say, but sometimes for me, it seems like he knows they're there, but he just still does it anyway. I'm not going to lie, and it seemed like that in times in this game. Again, expect a reaction from him. Alex is saying this is his worst game he's seen him in a Luton shirt. Mate, I think I'd have to agree, to be honest. Obviously at the start of the season, we knew, he was going to kick in eventually, especially at that price tag. But yeah, I agree, mate. This game just flick-ons, but no one was there. And he was struggling to get in the games other than when the long balls were played for me up towards him. So I'm going to go with a 5 for Morris. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to give him a 6. I think most of it was down to the lack of service from the midfield. He did get kind of contribute to the goal. He got clattered as well. He just didn't get the service. You could say maybe you should start dropping back, but thinking that we're going to string some passes together and we're going to do what we normally do. It just weren't happening. I don't think I expect a reaction from him, definitely.
Yeah.
6.
Big up to Dora in the chat. He says, how's Ethan going, dude? To be fair, mate, most of the games he's had, he's been pretty good. Obviously, the last game he wasn't great. Not because the goals they scored. He just had a moment in the game where his distribution was a bit West Brom, he wasn't great either. He weren't the only player, though, to be fair, in that one. And again, he weren't the only one in this game. But overall, he's been good. Your thoughts on it, Dad?
I think if the team's playing well, then when he needs to step up, then he'll step up. If the team's playing shit, it seems to affect him, and he can make mistakes. So, but other than that,
Middlesbrough as well, he had a bit of a questionable one. I think that's Bradley's positioning, but at the same time, the way he come out.
I think he's a very good goalkeeper. I think if he can just get that a little bit stronger mentality, because he does come across as quite shy and stuff as well.
He does. Yeah.
Then I like him. I'd like us to be able to keep him, but it depends what happens, doesn't it?
I was going to say, it depends what happens in these potentially next 2 games, but obviously one game. Obviously, if we don't win tomorrow, so we'll see. So yeah, there we go with that. Who's on to now? Elijah obviously got the goal. Good to see him score again. Scrappy goal, but we'll take it. Obviously, he's on 8 goals. I don't even know the last game he scored in before that. So, I've been saying for the whole season, I want him to get double figures.
Might be
sure if he's going to be able to.
Or in the league.
What's that, sorry?
I think it was Wigan.
Wigan? Yeah. He did score in that game, him and Cornick, wasn't it? So, yeah, it might have been that game. Nice goal as well, actually. It was the second goal, wasn't it? Was it a second goal? Yeah, because Cornick scored in the first half. So, yeah, no, it was good to see him score again. I don't think, obviously, it was overly great. But fair play for getting the goal, getting on to the end of it. Obviously, the celebrations was obviously limbs. But, yeah, because he scored, I'll give him a I'll go with a 6.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5 as well. You know, similar to Morris, he won't really get in the service. He did see a little bit more of it, but you know, he likes to come a bit deeper, doesn't he, and try and dribble past players and stuff. So, yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to the players that come on. Obviously, we'll start off with Fred. Obviously, he was the first sub. Again, at the time, I don't think it was the right sub. Like I say, I like Fred. Obviously, I do. But I just felt we needed to change the midfield, especially earlier as well. You know, like I said, Ruddock and Nakamba being on cards. Fred, I think there was one moment he gave away a foul, and I was like, for God's sake, on the watch long, because it was just annoying. I think it's towards the end of the game. He had some all right spells, all right runs, but again, I've seen better from him. I'm going to go with a 5.5.
I don't think it was that bad. I'll give him a 6. I thought he looked, you know, pretty strong again when he come on. We had to like defend a little bit, and we kind of did. You know, he come on and done what he had to do, what he was told to do. So it wasn't too bad for me. 6.
Yeah, fair enough. Alex, I don't know if I said his rating for Elijah. He said 6. And then he said Fred 5.5. He reckons the same as me. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Then moving on to Berry. Obviously, come on. Like I say, I think it was a bit late that he come on. Obviously, we know he loves a late moment or two. But yeah, it was one of them, wasn't it? I'm just going to go with standard 6, I think.
Yeah, I'll give him 6. Again, thought he looked a little bit more lively. The midfield looked slightly better when he was on there. So, but like, as you said, a bit too late. Yeah, 6.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the last sub was obviously Reece Burke coming on. Doherty, obviously, like I said, when he had that knock, obviously he's all right though. Like I've said, Burke, I don't feel I can give him anything too high or anything too low because he come on with 2 minutes. So I'm just going to go with standard 6.
Yeah, 6.
There you go. So there, obviously, the player ratings, like I said, no man of the match. When we lose, well, I don't do it like that anyway. So yeah, overall, a little bit annoying. Obviously, you know, to lose the game. Obviously, if we get a win, obviously, we're very confident. If we get a draw, it's technically, in a sense, 0-0. You know, going into the next game, obviously, away goals is it's not a thing in this. Still in it, but at least we know, I guess, what we have to do. You know, and we're not. You know, I wouldn't say obviously we weren't sitting for a draw, but like in a sense where going into it, you know, we would have took a draw. Now we know we need to win, you know, and nothing else. So that's how I see it, really. Anything else you want to say before we get into the game again?
Nah, crack on.
There you go. So obviously tomorrow night, obviously take on Sunderland again, obviously in the second leg at Kenilworth Road. Second leg at home under the Kenny, under the lights at the Kenny, sorry. Flipping hell. It is all or nothing, like I've said. Bit of insight going into it. Obviously, Luton have opened the scoring in all 3 of their meetings with Sunderland this season, but have failed to win a single one. So we did take lead, like I mentioned, obviously on Saturday as well. Sunderland have lost just one of their last 14 league meetings with Luton in all competitions, winning 8, drawing 5. A 3-0 loss in the League Cup in August 2007. Sunderland's last away win at Luton was on the final day of the 2006-07 Championship season, drawing 2, losing 1 since, with the Black Cats winning 5-0 at the already relegated Hatters to win the second-tier title. Only Portsmouth, 8, this stat was up the other day as well, played more games in the Football League playoffs without winning a single game than Luton Town, 7, drawing 3, losing 4. All 3 of their home games have been drawn. Really what you want to hear, that stat for us. And then the last one, Sunderland have won just 1 of their 7 away games in the Football League playoffs, drawing 2, losing 4, beating Newcastle. They'll love that. 2-0 in 1989 to 90. So that's a little bit of that. What Rob Edwards has said, like I said, is pre-match in that sense. Didn't come out too long ago. So I'll read out, the stuff of what he said going into this one. Obviously, we said brief bits earlier. So what he said, he said the home advantage will be crucial as it was in the first leg, obviously for Sunderland, as Edwards explained. The smaller pitch changes the game slightly because obviously the distance aren't as big, but there's still enough room there for them to try and play their game. It's just a little bit of a distance. We're used to playing there, so it should suit us a little bit more. I think the atmosphere was buzzing for the Watford game. If we can use that as a model and notch it up a bit more again, that would be what I'd like and what we need as well. I think that was a great advert for how the Kenny is when it's at its best. Totally agree. Obviously, I was there. I had the luxury to be there. The Hatters have had 3 days to highlight changes, obviously, as we know. Edwards has said, we'll try and be the best version of the team that finished third in the league this year. That's it. We want to attack the game. We know we have to win it to stand any chance of going through. So it's pretty easy for us. So our task is very similar to a normal league game. We want to try and attack it and win the game. Obviously, now this is a bit of a final, if you like, because there's something at the end of it. Going into the semi-final, we wanted to win it. We wanted to be in the best position possible, but at the same time, going away to the Stadium of Light, you want to be in a tie, and we're in the tie. And then his thoughts on the game, he says, we didn't keep the ball well enough, and we weren't quite as aggressive as we normally are. So we were a little bit more mid-press, if you like, rather than high in a lot of our transitions. We gave the ball back too quickly, totally agree, and too cheaply. So that was the main reason why I'm in saying that, and we could be a lot better in the second half. They score the goal from a short corner routine. They didn't open us up for all the really good players that they've got. They didn't create many chances from open play. So that will give us a lot of belief as well. And then obviously there was a bit of positivity from Rob Edwards. Was obviously asked about the chances the home side have of qualifying, obviously play a final at Wembley. Then of course we can win. We've got 90 plus minutes to win a game of football, and we've done that pretty well this season. We believe completely still. We know it's a difficult task. We know they're a good team, but we're in playoffs. We expect it to be a challenge. We didn't think it was ever going to be a walkover or anything like that. We're one down going into the home leg, but we're more than capable of winning this game of football. You absolutely are. I do agree with him with certain things he said. Obviously, I agree with him what he said in the game. But, we're about the pitch as well. It's, tighter. Obviously, you know what it's like at Kenilworth Road. I feel that will benefit us. Obviously, you saw a lot of, when they were in possession the other day, they were switching it. I don't think it's going to quite, be that easy to do that at Kenilworth Road. So I agree with him with that. I do agree with him with that. And I'm the same with him with the atmosphere. I want it to be like that Watford game, and it's going to have to be, or even, like he says, up a notch. Because this is do or die, like I said. And I agree that, I believe the 12th man will be there. We'll be there in full support. It's just, like I said, hoping the players can do it as well. But after saying all of that, and a bit about, if you want to say anything about what Rob Edwards said, how are you feeling going into this one, Dad?
Yeah, no, he's right on a lot of aspects. We have got that poor playoff record. That's any kind of thing. But this is the best team that I've seen compete in the playoffs. And we have got that home game, and you just got to make it count. And I believe we've got the players to make it count as well. So I am quite confident. Yeah, definitely the performance will be there. If it's not, for me, something what it wouldn't make sense to me. We normally bounce back from the defeat in general as well. You've got their home form, you've got their away form, but again, doesn't really come into it in a one-off game for me. The crowd obviously is going to be massive, and a couple of their players come out and said, they're not bothered by that. We'll see how bothered you are by it when you're there. I'm quite confident that we can get a decent result. And at the very worst, make them work for it. But I'm very confident that we have to turn up. We have to turn up, and we have to score a certain amount of goals. And I believe we can do it.
Yeah. How am I feeling going into it? Obviously, feeling a little bit nervy because I know it's literally win or bust in that sense. But I believe we will play a lot better, of course, especially if being at home. I think that's just going to factor us. People talk about our home form, not being as great, but most of that was the start of the season. Do you know what I mean? For me, ever since that Blackburn game, I think it was, because I remember I was actually relieved when we won that game. So I was like, finally won at home, obviously 2-0. And I think from then, most of the time it's been good. Even then, I can't really think of losses other than that. Oh, obviously, other than Burnley, I can't really think of others at home after that, to be honest. So, yeah, it's one Emerson night game as well. I've seen some very good night games over the years. Middlesbrough 3-1 last season. Middlesbrough 3-3. A lot of them are against Middlesbrough, but there's been others as well. Even Norwich, Norwich this season. So, yeah, I'm feeling confident in the sense where I know we will be a lot better. That's for sure. So that's how I'm feeling. Moving on to the lineup. Obviously, we'll do the usual. Most of you will know by now. Obviously, I say, Dad agrees. He'll say at the end. So obviously, despite obviously, not having a great game, obviously he is the lone keeper. Could, I want to, be negative in that sense, but could maybe be his last game. So Ethan in goal, back three. I'd probably keep it the same. To be fair, the only potential difference is Birkin for Osho, but I'll still go Osho. Look, like my dad said earlier, and I was going to say, redeems himself in stuff. Look at the Watford game or the 2 Watford games, shall I say? Obviously, he got sent off in the 4-0, and then obviously come back, scored when we played him at home. So hopefully it could be something similar in that sense, where obviously he didn't get a red card or anything, but obviously not so great. Hopefully being at home, a lot better. So obviously Bell on the left as well. I'd still go with that. And then Lockyer in the middle. And hopefully steps it up, which I believe he will. And then left wing back, obviously Doherty will be okay. So most likely be starting. Again, Drayman on the right. Obviously he's on loan. Plus he is the main right wing back. So definitely go with him. And then midfield, right. For me, I would probably go. I'd definitely start Campbell. Definitely 100% start Campbell in this one. Put him on the left-hand side. Because Campbell's on loan, and we know, most of the games he's been good. And then obviously Preston and this game, I'll go with him again. And then ahead of them, there's 2 players I'm thinking. I'll go Clark. I'm thinking Clark or Berry, but I'll go Clark. He'll redeem himself, and I hope he does, of course. I feel this could be better suited at home. I feel away it wasn't, but I feel at home it will be. And then up front, it speaks for itself. I still don't know about Woodrow. I don't think he's going to be available still. Elijah and Morris. Hopefully Elijah has the confidence now of getting the goal. And then Morris obviously steps it up, hopefully. So that's the lineup I'd go with. Any changes you'd make to that, Dad?
No. Like you said, potentially Berry. Part of me feels like Berry might, like Clark. We know Clark's good. So, it's a make or break game. So, yeah, for me, I would be putting Campbell in. Everyone knows how dogged he is. And, we have kind of missed that at times this season. We've chose to play other players. So, come on. I just think that you need him in this type of game. I really, really do. We need a striker on the bench as well.
Yeah. Hopefully Taylor's back on the bench, because I think I saw when Rob Edwards was previewing the first leg, he said it obviously if we do get there, it doesn't look like Woodrow would be back till the final.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely want to see Taylor. And Taylor's been all right. You know, he hasn't scored yet, but you know, last couple of games he's been unlucky not to. You know, I said it on the last episode. You know, he's lucky not to. Sorry, not lucky. Unlucky not to get a goal. Had two good chances in that, and a hole. You know, hole. Obviously, you know, I don't really like Ingram and what he was doing that game, but it was a decent save. You know, because it was a good header. So, yeah, I definitely want to see him back on the bench. So that's the lineup. Now it is that time, Dad. See, it's make or break, all or nothing. Both said we're confident that we'll turn up. Just will we get the result that we want, or our result that we want? Tell me your score prediction and goal scorers,
Well,
or scorer.
I just feel because we have to turn up, and they're a lot better at turning up than not turning up, aren't they? So they should be doing it, and they know, you know. Let's see if it's a step too far for Sunderland, because we didn't finish third for no reason, and we need to go out there and show why we finished third. I expect the players that I talked about that weren't on it in that game, and maybe as well, it's a good time to have a little pick up the arse, because that could just galvanise you. Go out, win the next two games, you're done. And we know that they're capable of doing that, whoever we're playing. So I expect them players to be on the ball. I'm going to go 3-1 Luton. I could see it also being a 3-2 classic, and then obviously it'll go to extra time and that. But I'm going to go 3-1 Luton. I'm going to go Morris, Elijah, and Doughty.
I like that. Obviously, the last time we won 3-1 at home was obviously Blackpool. So we are, you know, obviously I know Sunderland are better than Blackpool, but we are capable of doing it. And we need to, you know, that is one of the results we do need. As for my score prediction, getting yours in the chat as well, and I'll go through them at the end. This was difficult for me. I was sitting here for ages. Obviously, I did say, you know, at the start of the season, Luton will finish fourth and win the playoffs. So I've got to back the boys. Especially being at home. You know, we're going to, you know, play a lot better. I know that for sure. It's just, will we get that result? I'm going to go 2-1 Luton, which obviously means it goes into extra time. Don't think there'll be any goals in extra time. Penalties, we win on penalties. Obviously, I know Luton fans, obviously not quite myself, but obviously I know you've seen heartbreaking penalties. Dad, unfortunately, I think this time round, we're going to hopefully see a positive penalty shootout. And there we go. Hopefully, we're going to Wembley. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to go. My goal scorers in the 90 minutes. I'm going to go Morris and... Do you know what? I'm going to go Clark. Clark to redeem himself. So, yeah, I'm going to go with them. Let's go through your score predictions. Oh, God. This is nervy times, this. Chris has gone with a 2-1 to Luton. Luton on penalties is that same as me. And obviously, yeah, he was going to work. So he said, big up, lads. I'll be at work. Still confident we'll win our respective playoff finals. Obviously, he's a Carlisle fan. Obviously, a 1-0 to Bradford. So, yeah, hopefully, mate. Hopefully, both our grounds will be bouncing. Exactly, mate. Exactly. So, yeah, that's Chris's prediction. That's one prediction. What else are we reckoning? Jackie's gone. I'm going into it being positive. A 2-0 to us would be great. Absolutely. But I expect them to score. Yeah, I'm thinking the same. I can't see them not scoring. 3-1 to us. Same as you, Dad. Morris, Elijah, Berry. Two of the same goal scorers as well. Jackie, you know, most of the time you're very good when it comes to predictions. So hopefully, Common New Hatters as well. Absolutely. Spencer's gone 3-0. That would be brilliant, mate. That would be brilliant.
Yeah, is it. This is what we need to be doing. As simple as that. And we're capable of doing it. Go out there and just do it. The crowd will be behind you. You've got the ability. You know you can do it. Just go out there and do it. Like,
Exactly. Do or die, all or nothing. Literally, it's mad. A couple Sunderland fans putting their predictions 3-2. Geez, that would be goals galore. Obviously, that's not what we want.
We're not going to concede that. No. 5 goals over 2 legs. I can't see it. Can't see it.
1-1. Big up. Obviously, it was on the previous game. 1-1, which would obviously mean Sunderland go through. What's that? 3-2 on aggregate. Fair enough. 3-0. Says David. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. I like these confident 3-0s, you know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Dad, any final things you want to say? Could be the last time. Obviously, we'll do rankings of players.
Whatever happens, we've had a great season. I just don't think it's over yet. I just can't. I refuse to believe that team who've lost, was it 8 games all season?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Are you counting that game as well? I'm pretty sure it is.
Not even, in the league, whatever, 9 games all season. 47 is just going to completely fold at Kenilworth Road in an important game like that.
9 games, yeah.
So switched on and finish 3rd.
Yeah.
Have to turn. Just play like you can, and you should be winning. You should be winning. You just need to turn on. And at occasions, I've seen him play really, really good football against Bristol City in the first, whatever it was, few minutes. We scored 2 minutes in. We was just all over them. We looked like a Premier League team. There's a couple of other teams who played like that against it. It can be done, and you need to be doing that. It needs to be the same belief as against Watford, who arguably probably had better, more experienced, better players than Sunderland. You've just got to you've got to just show them who the daddies are, basically. Do you know what I mean? That's it. So go out there and do it. The whole, everyone. Obviously, we can't get sold out.
Sold out today, I think. Or it come up that it's sold out today. Anyway, I saw that earlier. So big up. And like I said, I believe Sportman will be there.
Well, if it does end there, again, it'll be another lesson. We'll push, and we will learn from that. We will be able to keep a majority of our squad together. And we're not looking at there's no reason why we couldn't go for exactly the same again.
Yeah,
at least the playoffs. I know next potentially it could be more hard. Better teams from the Premier League coming down, etc. But they don't go straight back up. So one might, but the other 2 generally don't. We just got to carry on doing what we're doing, and that's it.
Nervy times.
We've still had a great season. Yeah. We just need to perform, and that's it. If we perform 110%, and we still don't go through, we can't really say nothing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, in that. But this happens in the playoffs. It happens. Look at Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
We've got the ability to bounce back from it. And it's not a 4-0, is it? It's not 4-0. It's nowhere near that. Like I said, I'd have took 1-0. It's basically roll down. Exactly. But we've proved that we can score. If we put under pressure, we'll score.
And getting that goal, as much as it still would have been 1-0, like you say, I think that helps as well. Getting that goal, going into this one. So
let's make it. I think it's going to be one of them. Portsmouth 3-2. I can 3-2 against Bournemouth, Naismith in the last minute. It's going to be along them lines.
Yours is going to be a 3-1, so then that goal seals it. You reckon?
Yeah, Campbell scored again in the last minute against Watford.
Yeah.
there's players that surely have to step up. You can't be playing like that all season and then do nothing in the playoffs.
Yeah, I
Can't
definitely
but
agree
yeah,
with that.
yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Yeah. Spencer, just hoping, really. Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, on his 3-0. Yeah, it's one. Obviously, we all got our opinions. I just see him scoring. Do you know what I mean? But like you say, you're obviously hoping. Obviously, the Hatters do well. Yeah, no, I said it. You know, on the last one, they probably will try and do it and hit us on the
He's
break.
come out and said they're not. He said they can't. He said they haven't
Oh,
got
really?
to do that. Yeah, and they haven't. He's right. They have
Yeah.
to go at us.
They do, yeah. The first goal in this game is massive. If we get the goal, obviously it's game on. You know, if they score,
Because they
it's
will,
looking a bit slimmer
they
for us.
will panic. If we score first early on, they will panic.
Yeah.
What we do now, we're going forward. What if and we just got to capitalise on that.
Yeah, exactly.
If we score in the first 20 minutes, we'll go on to win it.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully. See, you're on TV. Yeah, when he said that, I put in the chat, what for? I thought it was actually on TV. And he just meant on his TV. So, yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, everyone says that. Everyone says that, mate. There you go.
Yeah. Lucky for him, man.
Yeah, pretty much all the players do, mate. You know what I mean? Pretty much all the players.
If I'll be surprised if he starts again.
Yeah, I don't think he'll start. Yeah, I'm the same.
Step up. But yeah,
all of these. Definitely Nakamba and Morris. You know, go back to it earlier, mate. You know, we were saying it about these. Not obviously just them, a lot of others as well. But yeah, there we go. This could potentially be the last game. Obviously, we preview. Hopefully not. Either way, obviously we'll react to it, and then probably a few weeks down the line we'll do a ranking players season sort of thing like we did last season. But yeah, hopefully not. Either way, big up yourself, Dad, for coming on. Any final things you'd like to say, just about anything in general?
We'll see you probably Friday or something for the next Hatter show.
Yeah. We'll try and get a reaction out, a few days after at least, so we don't long it out in that sense. Obviously, if we don't, well, when it obviously if we do progress, when is the final?
27th.
27th. So yeah, we'll do something on Friday, and then that'll be better actually, because then if we do get there, we just preview it, and it's just one of them. But hopefully, we'll do it tomorrow. We need to do it first. So yeah, mate, that'll be mental. Could you imagine that? Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
Someone's got to step up. They have to.
Yeah, and we have seen players do, score these late goals. Like you said, Campbell against Watford, and that just sealed it really. Obviously, don't like him, but Naismith. So it can happen. Obviously, they're both at Kenilworth Road as well. So we'll see, man. But yeah, I will not be going to the game tomorrow, unfortunately. Obviously, if we do get to the final, I'll try my best. Most likely be there. But I will be doing a watch along, of course. Got to, to this game. So yeah, if you can tune into that, please do. Obviously, the game's at 8, so I'll go live around about 10 to 8. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, that is episode 103 done of the Hat Show. Big up to everyone that's tuned in. We are currently on 13 likes, I think it is. And I know a lot of people watch us back on playback, so big up to yourselves. A few new subscribers the other day on the watch along as well. Like I said, big up. And there was another new subscriber after the watch along as well. So big up to yourself, whoever that was. So yeah, like I said, don't forget to smash a like on the video or stream, whatever you want to call it. If you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on, like Nightbot says here. And then obviously subscribe to the extra channel. You can just go in the description or go onto that link. And yeah, if you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are in the description. Big up to everyone that's checking out the TikTok as well. The watch along highlights I put out has now got the most views to this game. Most viewed video so far, 7,000 views. So big up to everyone that's watched that. And Spencer says, take care, everyone. Yep, no, absolutely. Obviously, hopefully, Liverpool get a result today. Obviously, they're playing Leicester. I will not be doing a watch along. But yeah, hopefully, you, of course. So yeah, common you Hatters, big up yourself. But yeah, I'll be back again tomorrow for a watch along. So until then, big up yourselves. Come on, Luton. All or nothing. Let's do it, boys. And that weren't a Sunderland documentary thing. So yeah, till next time, take care and peace.